Hello and welcome back to this section. In our last session we talked about cookies. So we said cookies set information in the user browser from our website or application. So when the user comes back to our website or application, we'll reference the information that is already set into the browser for processing. Okay, so that's what we talked about in cookies. Now today we're going to be working on sessions. Okay, how to use sections. Now sessions is a way of getting information. Okay, so we create a file right by starting a function. Okay, we create a file by starting a function. So I'm going to be showing you what we are going the function we're going to be using to start the session. Okay, so we create a file in our server to save the user information, and when the user comes into that specific page or app, we set a cookie in the browser without referencing to the file that we have on the server. Okay, so that way the user information is going to be saved on our servers. Also, what you need to know is that we can save a lot of information. All right, instead of with cookies we save little information. All right, because we are saving in the user browser and not in our server. So that's just what the brief explanation of what this session is all about. Okay, so we are saving informations into the server and not the browser. So I'm just going to be showing you what we meant by that. So firstly, let's open a new file. So we have session1.php. Alright, so we're going to do that. So let's create a PHP syntax for this. Now I'm going to be showing you the functions that we are going to be using to start this session on this PHP file. Okay, so we have session underscore start. All right, so we put in the parentheses and we put a semicolon. Now very importantly, anytime that you're using the session, make sure you always use this function session start whenever you want to use this session on your application. Okay, so it's very important that you know that. Now let's move down to this to the browser and see what is really happening. So we just come down here and we say session1.php. okay, now a cookie has been set into a browser like this. So how are we going to check that out? So we just come down here and go to settings. Okay, then we come down to privacy and security, then we say cookies and other site data. All right, so we'll just come down here to see all cookies and site data. All right, so you see this here, so we have one cookie. All right, so we click on this, you see that we have a PHP session right here. Okay, so we click down, now we have the PHP session, and we have the content. Now this particular content is what we're going to be using to reference this particular file. Okay, so whenever we want to pull out the information in this file, is this particular content that we are going to be using to reference this particular file and on this server to get this particular information that we have here to another file. This is the reference point here. Okay, so that is just what this session is all about. Now I'm going to pass in some information in this. So we're going to have here session super global variable here. Okay, so we're going to have inside there, so this is an associative array, so we're going to have greetings in there. Okay, so we're going to open this and say hello student. Okay, so put a semicolon right here. Okay, now we are going to pass in this hello student into another file. So what we are going to do here, I'm going to copy what we have here, Ctrl C to copy, then we'll come down here and open another file. So we say session 2.php. Okay, so we do the same thing right there. So don't forget to start the session underscore start right here. Okay, don't forget to do that. So put a semicolon, then come down here and paste this. So instead of having this, I'm going to remove this, put a semicolon here, and come down here and echo this. Okay, so whatsoever we have on that particular file, the session 1, is going to be referenced on this particular page. Okay, so let's go back to our code and let's do something. So we have session 1, so just come down here and change it to session 2. Alright, so we have hello student right here. You see what is happening? It has been referenced from that session 1 to session 2. So if I come back here and I said in session 1, I'm still going to change this here and say hello student, you are awesome. Okay, so if we come back there, alright, so just go to session 1 and make sure it has gone in there. Okay, so then we change this to section 2 again, and yeah, so we have hello student, you are awesome. So that is just basically what this is all about. So we can have this, we can do this in situations whereby we are sending in a thank you message, or we are sending a welcome message across our application, like in a login. Whenever the user login and the user comes into the have his own dashboard, comes into this dashboard, so the name of the user, we're going to put a session on the name of the user. So whenever he logs into the dashboard, then you will now see at the very top corner, maybe say hello David, or hello the username, and welcome to this page. So that is just the scenario, one of the scenarios where we can use session in applications. So that is just all, that's all we have to do for this section. So I believe you have a good understanding on how this works. So I'll see you in our next session. Bye for now.